They need to set the example.
Some spiritual wisdom for grandparents from a Catholic grandmother herself. Kathy Bigelow says seniors have an important role in society, nurturing the next generation.
When the kids have questions, they can ask you.
Bigelow has 16 grandchildren. She sees herself as a guide for them.
Staying true to morals and values and what's right and wrong, and then telling them stories of our ancestors, where we came from. And kids need to feel a sense of connection.
Looking back to his own childhood, Divine Fomunium says his grandparents were the key connection to his spiritual formation.
My grandparents particularly the reason why I am Catholic.
He learned about the sacraments and the rosary from his grandfather. But faith was more than a lesson. He saw his grandfather live it.
Living out your faith is itself a way to demonstrate that God is real, the church is real. If you are going to teach the faith, you better live it first. That's the only way I would tell grandparents to live out their faith.
And if his grandfather were alive today, Fomunium says he would tell him, well done. On the global scale, the church now has a time to give special thanks to grandparents. Last month, Catholics around the world celebrated the second annual World Day for Grandparents and the Elderly. Throughout his papacy, Pope Francis has reaffirmed the dignity of the elderly and called them on mission, once saying, "Old age is a time of grace in which the Lord renews his call to us. He calls us to safeguard and transmit the faith. He calls us to pray, especially to intercede. He calls us to be close to those in need." With such a crucial role in the life of the church, the elderly need spiritual reinforcement.
As Catholics, we pray for the intercession of saints, holy men and women who can be spiritual guides. And for grandparents, St. Anne is a great example.
St. Anne, along with her husband, St. Joachim, were the grandparents of Jesus. In her own prayer, Kathy Bigelow says she looks to St. Anne and relies on St. Anne's daughter.
The Blessed Mother is my absolute favorite. Absolute favorite.
Considering the central role of Mary in the life of Christ, St. Pope John Paul II once shared this reflection. Let us think then that it was St. Anne herself who was the first to teach Mary, her daughter, how to be a mother. For Bigelow, teaching her grandchildren includes leading them in prayer whenever they come visit.
I ask them who they want to pray for. Sometimes it's a dog, sometimes it's a kid down the street. But I want them to know that they can pray for people.
It's one small example of faith, but a type of witness that can have a lasting impact on others. Just take it from a fully grown grandchild.
When they grow up and begin to grapple with life, they'll be able to hold on to that truth, that if grandma could do this, if granddad could do this, then I can do it.
Mark Irons, EWTN News In Depth.